The question that Kevin Harlan posed, is this the dagger? Took a while to get answered, but it did. And Kevin Harlan's kind enough to call into the program. Great call, Kevin.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you very much. Fun game to do. Nice to be a part of something so historic. First walk-off Game 7 buzzer-beating shot. I found out about 4 this morning, so it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Well, I mean, and to wait. I mean, what was that in the arena? It sounded like there was no breath being drawn while the ball was on that rim.
That's a great way to describe it. And first of all, we know the Leonard story. We don't know if he's going to go back to Toronto. They would give anything to have him back. He was traded there, but more for just the 1 year and let him kind of look at the landscape and figure out what he wants to do. They can pay him $50 million more than any other team, so financially it would behoove him to stay there, but that's the ongoing subplot to their march here in the playoffs. So he has this monster game. He's taken almost, not quite, but almost half the shots of the Toronto team last night. Down, he had taken like 32 shots, and the team had taken 70 overall. So he had just put up one shot after another and was scoring, and there was nothing Philadelphia could do. So the game was tied, so he had nothing really to lose, and you saw the rotation of Embiid over there, the initial defense of Simmons, the falling out of bounds, falling down. And the great thing about working at TNT is we've got such great guys that they are able to kind of reel in to do the extended games. We have so many playoff games. So last night, our director was Rich Russo from Fox. Rich Russo has directed about 5 Super Bowls. And we had this great sound guy in our truck, Jeff Walker. And he paid particular attention. As you could tell, you could hear the bouncing ball on the rim. And with the hush of the crowd, the drama that was right before us, the sound guy did his job. The shots by Rich were there, and it all kind of fell into place. And I thought Greg Anthony was terrific in kind of taking us down the stretch. So the noise that was not heard was about the largest, most resounding noise of the night, because it did play it was like a movie kind of, it was kind of like, it really came together well.
The slow motion of the ball on the rim actually being in real time motion, it did seem like a movie. And then I think Kevin Harlan here on the Rich Eisen Show, you do hit on the drama of it. It's not just any shot what was hanging on that rim and bouncing on that rim 4 times. It is the Leonard story that if it didn't drop and the Sixers won in overtime, would that have been his last game there? And the fact that it did drop, now what happens with the Sixers? I mean, that was hanging on that rim for so long, Kevin. But you cannot make it up.
No, you can't. It's hard to even believe, watching it again, that it actually happened. And Philadelphia has kind of the same story subplot with a couple of their big players too, Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler, because they're now free to go. And they were thinking a win there, they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. They can sell Butler on finishing his career there with a long-term contract. And so now you've got 2 teams entering this Game 7 with not just the importance of a Game 7, the 2 sweetest words in all of sports, but you've got the reaching consequences, the long reach of what happens in this series that could affect what happens this summer and beyond. And, what does Philadelphia do with their coach? Do they resign these free agents? If Toronto loses, Nick Nurse is in his first year. They fired the coach of the year last year, Dwayne Casey, thinking it wasn't enough. They all went in. They put all their chips. Both these teams put all their chips in the middle there on this one season, one playoff, and we saw that it came as close as 4 bounces on the rim, and just by happenstance, the right bounce went to Toronto.
A few minutes here with Kevin Harlan of Warner Media Sports, Turner Sports. I don't know. It's such a changing world here on the Rich Eisen Show. And then you want to talk about, again, that you can't make this stuff up, right, from the NBA gods, if you will. You called that Game 5 in Oakland last week, And here are the Rockets having the opportunity to go up 3-2 on the Warriors with Durant out. In the same way that they went up 3-2 with losing Chris Paul last year, they fell apart. The Warriors are now in the Rockets' position, going up 3-2 by losing their star, one of, in Durant, although late third quarter, we know Chris Paul got hurt towards the end of that Game 5 last year. Warriors not only don't fall apart, they close it out on Houston. I mean, that was remarkable to see.
And in the city, in the city where, back in '95, Rudy Tomjanovich said, never underestimate the heart of a champion. And that was the original championship group: Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. And regardless of the new entry that Durant has been, and a two-time finals MVP and everything he's brought to that organization, there's three guys. And sure enough, here they are, called upon again, of Durant, and the heart of a champion was as strong a beat as you could possibly want. And the irony of it happening in that city where those words were uttered, 20 some years ago or whatever, and they came through. I was stunned after watching him lose in Oakland. I thought for sure this is when Chris Paul, this is when PJ Tucker, this is when James Harden finally have a brand new chapter in their character emerge, because all of them are searching for something that individually they've never attained, yet they've had individual success. But here was a chance now to really grab the series by the throat and put Golden State without Durant and with probably some hesitation in their mind on their heels. And it was just the opposite. You saw this incredible second-half performance by Curry, the heart of a champion. The team showed that they have got, a lot still there, a lot of wherewithal, and it's going to be an interesting Western Conference Finals for sure.
I bet. So before we send Kevin into his day, Chris, ask him the poll question since he's called half of our question. Go for it.
Okay, Kevin, the biggest surprise from the weekend in the NBA. John Beilein going to Cleveland. Kawhi's game winner. Portland's 17-point comeback win in Game 7. Warriors beat the Rockets without Durant, or the Lakers hire Frank Vogel.
Beilein would be a very close second. I just got off the plane and saw that, and I'm stunned.
Yeah.
And we did their game in the Sweet 16.
I was right behind you, Kevin. I was 2 rows behind you. Couldn't believe that's the last game he ever coached for Michigan.
Isn't that amazing, Rich? I know it. I know. Shocking. I thought he loved the college game. He had some pretty significant heart surgery last summer.
Yep.
And he's a grandfather. He's a father. He's married to his wife for decades. This is a guy that looks into a lot of things. I don't know if the college game was too much, but now he's going into the pro game, which to me has completely different kind of layers of stress and travel and longevity. It's just, wow. I'm stunned. I would say the Rockets losing at home. That to me would be the biggest stunner for me from this past week. I'm shocked that they lost that game. I thought the previous games had all been decided by 6 points or less. I thought they had played them close. I thought Durant's injury and absence opened the door for them now to really show something, maybe a whole nother level we hadn't seen. And then I never underestimate the heart of a champion is the thing I come out of the weekend with.
Great calls, Kevin. Really enjoying it immensely. And, speaking on behalf of my buddy Kurt Warner, I'm looking forward to seeing you or hearing you on the Monday Night Football booth this fall with the two of you guys doing your thing.
Thank you very much, Rich. I love working with Kurt. He's a class act, as you know. And by the way, your draft coverage from the combine through the draft, exceptional. And I did not turn it off. I was glued, and you were the reason why. I love what you guys do on NFL Network.
Means a ton, Kevin, coming from you for sure. Great call, great stuff. Let's chat soon.
Thank you, Rich. Always enjoy it.
That's
Thank you.
Kevin Harlan.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.